Here we go. Tonight's topic is discouragement. I start with a little blurb here that talks about Satan going out of business sale, and he has all these tools. We know he never goes out of business. And he has everything: malice, hatred, envy, jealousy, deceit, all these elements of evil. And over in the corner is this beat up little item. And it turns out it was discouragement. And it was the highest priced item in the room. Because Satan says, I can pry open and get inside a man's conscience with that, when I couldn't get near him with the other things, with the hatred, the envy, the jealousy. I use it on nearly everyone. And it had to be added here that the price was so high it was never sold. Satan still owns discouragement, and he's using it every day. Anyone who knows my story knows that I started Pray It Off at 338 pounds after weighing 371 pounds and losing some weight on my own. And I just lost it. Eat less, move more. I was the poster child for Pray It Off. And then I had lost 130 pounds, and that was a year and a half and 5 months ago. And I have not lost any weight since then. So I've really experimented. I went to the doctors, I read books, I came to this group, you know. Yeah, were there zigs a couple times at party, but very rarely, you know, because I am, you know, the facilitator of Pray It Off. January 1, I said, you know what, Ellen? From January to the end of April, 4 months, you are going to lose that last 10 pounds. That's not too much to ask for, 10 pounds in 4 months. I said I will exercise, I will walk, I will go to the doctor, I'll do whatever he says. I will not have any bread. I will just do whatever I need to do. After 4 months, I lost 1 pound. I didn't have bread. I didn't have beer. I didn't have any candy, cookies, cake, ice cream. I had the plan. I had this. I would show it to my doctor, you know, and he'd say, well, maybe you need to eat a little bit more of this or a little bit less of this. I got really discouraged. I really did. Now, it's funny, I can gain weight. I went to Chicago, I had a few extras. Boy, whoo, I can gain weight. Well, wait, what? What's up with that? I can't lose weight, but I can gain it? I mean, what's up with that? So I really got very discouraged. I'm thinking, you know what, I'm trying so hard, I'm working so hard. Then I had to wrap my head around that. How do I feel now versus 371, 338? Well, I feel like a completely different person. What some people have done is they get discouraged and they throw in the towel. They say, well, you know what, I've done everything right, I'm just going to give up, I'm going to quit. Then what happens, and I know it would happen to me, is you start gaining it back. It's never too late to get back on track. It's also never too late to just say, you know what, it's okay. It's okay where I am, because where I am is not where I was. If I never weigh 170, I can walk, my stats are perfect, there's nothing wrong with me. You know, I also started a job, because I always worked. After 10 years of having my own business, that was stressful. So during this time that I didn't lose weight, I was adapting to my schedule. You know, I tried to look at it, not an excuse, but look at the big picture. You know, look at yourself. Are you on a medication? Are you this? Are you that? Because what I find is there's people who come to this scale and they get so discouraged because they're doing the right things. Now, not all of you are doing the right things. I want you to know that. But there are people who are doing the right things. And my heart bleeds for them because I know how they feel. And what I want to say to them is, but you're not where you were. You're not where you were. It is never too late for those of you who are discouraged just to accept where you are, and those of you who maybe have put some weight on to get back on track. The first way I say is pretend you are your own best friend. All right, let's say I were to say to you, you guys, I'm really discouraged. I haven't lost any weight since January. I'm thinking of quitting Pray It Off and just abolishing the group. You'd be like, Ellen, what are you talking about? You can't do that. You've tried so hard. I could start with Peg and end with Joanne, and every one of you would say something encouraging to me. You would say something wonderful, but Ellen this, Ellen that, you're so this, you're so that. Why don't we do that to ourselves? Why don't we treat each other as our own best friend? That is advice number one. Number two, what we're doing is hard because we're not looking for a short-term fix. We're looking at a lifetime of changes. So if I didn't come to Pray It Off on Thursday night from 6 to 7, now, I'm not talking me because I do a lot of other Pray It Off work, but you guys who come here from 6 to 7, you might read some of the materials or whatever. What would you do? All right, maybe you'd watch TV or talk to a friend on the phone or read, walk. You'd do something in that hour, but you'd still have that hour. I don't think that us coming here 1 hour a week is the worst thing that can possibly happen to us. We need to be committed and not be discouraged. We also need to give ourselves a mental break. I was putting so much pressure on myself January, and here, this is funny too, and Father Pryor already went to confession. I was so upset. I had the best Lent ever. I had the best Lent. And I think there's a part of Ellen that says, what? I tried so hard, I worked so hard, I had the best Lent, and I didn't lose any weight. I didn't go to church. I already went to confession. Don't judge me. I just said, you know, I'm gonna skip Mass a couple weeks. I felt naked. I felt like lost. I went back after being gone for 2 weeks. It was like, oh, there's that person, there's that. I felt like I was gone 20 years. I'm like, oh, here I am. Did you miss me? It was because I was mad. I was mad at God. I was mad. I was like, oh, I tried so hard, I worked so hard, and you didn't help me here. I was mad. Being mad at God for not losing weight after 4 months is really kind of stupid. I know it is. I know I'm 56. I should be smarter than that. But I really worked hard, you guys. I worked so hard. So the point is, God was just sitting up there going, come on, Ellen, you're not going to like this. You might as well get back here. And I'm happy. I'm happy. I went to confession. I was like, you know, crying afterwards as if I'd murdered someone. I'm coming out. I feel so good. And people are like, whoa, what a cheater. If they only knew I missed 2 weeks of church. But the thing is, we're all going to have a few bad days, a few mad months, a few phone calls from people. You know, sometimes we look at the caller ID and we go, oh, do we want to take that? It's one of our kids. Oh, is there a problem? I call it the crisis du jour because there's always going to be a crisis du jour. Also, we talk about fighting discouragement. The number one thing is, why did you want to lose weight in the first place? Why? Well, I wanted to lose weight so I could live. Well, I am living. So if I can live at 200 versus 170, if I don't get to 170, is it the end of the world? And a real quick story. I had my first marriage, wonderful guy, long story, didn't work out. It was terrible. I never wanted to divorce, ever, 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 ever. So I said to all my friends, that's it. I give up. I don't care. I don't care. I'm fine by myself. I'm at a play. It's a Friday night, Thursday night. One of my best friends, I had the playbill. I said, I am 30-something years old. I go, I have resigned myself to the fact that I will never meet anyone, and I'm giving up. And I shut the playbill. The next day, I met Bob. The next day, we were together, inseparable. It's been over 20 years. God has his own plan. Right when I give up, God says, wait a minute. That's not my plan. When I got pregnant at 41, God's like, my plan, Ellen, my plan. We have to be remembering why. Why did we want to do this? Lifetime change. Otherwise, it's a yo-yo. You know, we made a good point last week when we were talking about the South Beach diet being a quick fix. I'm only bringing that up because there are people in this room that are addicted to carbs, that are addicted to sugar. For 2 weeks, if you go without them by eating the 2-week plan, see how you feel after that. Maybe introduce a few. I'm thinking the best way is to cut just a couple hundred calories a day and to move a little bit more. The biggest thing is to not give up. Bob, I'm going to stop right there.